We're live.
Oh my God, we're live.
Yeah.
We can't fully continue this until
the ninja is on the wall.
we need Private and Ninja.
That's my lawn.
Yeah, definitely the.
Well, he said Ninja, so
I said ninja.
We have a Privet. We make amends.
All right, session 4, picking back up after a hiatus because of COVID and then stuff in my life. The
Stuff
I like
happens.
stuff. I mean,
and when we left off, who has notes? Tell me what happened.
you.
I know what happened, but tell me what happened.
In the last session, we got to an island and began to venture it. And we found goblins.
Tiny goblins.
These goblins have held a giant war machine.
And now they're attacking us with it.
So I believe, yes, okay, so I think you got to the island, you saw the lighthouse and you went there first, you spent some time trying to break into that and using your skills and your various tools and stuff, and you managed to climb inside and open the door from the inside. You found some tools, like a bag of tools, which I said, like, you can't have like any tool, but if you need like a simple, like a hammer or a screwdriver, it's in there.
Very simple.
The basic simple tools. When you think about it, your basic stuff is in there.
You got barrels of oil.
You got barrels of oil. You guys went outside and you fought some goblins. You caught them sneaking up, trying to ambush you guys outside the lighthouse, and you defended yourselves and amiably. You destroyed fungus goblin creatures, which we then decided that Gunter made a cool world building.
The goblins.
Orcs eat goblins, which I like, which is very, very cool.
And
I like that.
goblins are plant-based.
Yeah, and goblins are like, that goblins are basically like kind of only semi-intelligent, even though they're humanoids. They're like little plant people that just kind of do things by instinct. However, you do also know that if there's goblins around, that means there must be a hobgoblin. And hobgoblins are tougher. And orcs don't like hobgoblins and also eat them. But
Hobgoblins will command the smaller goblins.
Exactly.
They're betting over a sort of plant-based control.
Exactly. And so you now suspect that there would be a hobgoblin somewhere maybe on this island. But just as you guys were doing that, if you have your minis, we'll lay out. So you guys are down here by my amazingly well-drawn forest. And you hear a rumbling and a crunching as some sort of, I'm just an amazing artist through this mini, and this thing comes crashing out of the woods.
Oh, that's nice.
So
The war machine.
A goblin war engine.
You can show it to the camera.
It's a goblin war engine with, and I'll describe, this is what you see on it immediately. Yeah, bring it up close.
Oh.
This is, I'm amazing artist. I spent like 10 minutes trying it.
You mean hours?
Of course, 10 hours.
That is nice.
So it's basically a giant stomping tree trunk. On the front, it has like a wooden mast, like a tribal mast, and has like leaves and feathers coming out of the top of its head, like a big tribal mast type thing. And it has 2 crystal eyes set into the mast that are like shimmering with like some kind of magical power. It has on one arm what looks like a cannon strapped to one side with like 6 different holes. On the other arm, it has some sort of like electrical device.
Tesla
crackling,
coil.
Yeah, it's a Tesla coil looking thing, crackling with electricity. The right leg is a heap of just random ship parts, and it has a huge cloud of smoke coming out of it, and it's like obscuring part of the war engine. And the most interesting thing, the left leg is a giant worm. It's just a weird giant worm that is wriggling and trying to get away, but is tied to the thing and causing it to move and stutter.
Chimera worm is known for being a huge species of worms, and they are primitive and burrow underground, so doing what normally other worms do. But when found or dug up, they can be tamed and used as mobility.
Fantastic. And how about goblins often do this?
Goblins mainly
use
use them for their war machines as they can use their plant-based synthesis to take over the mind
I
and
like it.
control it.
That's a great idea. I like it. It's canon in our world now. These giant worms controlled by goblins. Chimera worms, you say?
Chimera worms.
I like that. That's really good.
They
So-
are very primitive. They just act like normal worms. They
They're
can be
just
controlled because the plant base is overpowering their mind.
All right. So with that in mind, everyone roll for initiative. Who got higher than 10? You got lower?
Yeah.
Can someone roll for Vanjuul as well?
Yeah.
+0 to initiative, so just straight D20.
I got 13, 3.
So 3, okay, so, Swift and Heiji, you get to act first, then it is the goblin war
What's your
machine,
initiative?
and then,
17.
17?
oh, you rolled 17? Oh, he rolled, Swift rolled 17, sorry, and you rolled 8, right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, perfect.
I remember.
So, you two, then me, then you. So, Swift and Heiji, you just decide who goes first.
Probably
You
the
go
one who got
first.
higher.
Whoever higher, that makes sense. You went, that works easy enough for us. We don't need to track it terribly because once we get going, we'll just go. So this big thing starts stomping out of the woods. It you hear it's making huge, loud crashing noises, and there's like mechanical squealing noises, and it sounds terrible. And it's breaking down trees as it comes out of the woods, and it starts stomping towards you. It's actually starts wriggling towards you. The leg with the smoke coming out of it, that hardly even seems to move. It only twists a little bit, and the worm
It
moves
shifts
it
and
forward.
turns
Exactly.
as it has a base that just slowly shifts itself forward as the worm will move.
Absolutely right.
This is something. Okay. So, as Gunter knows the machine, as
You've seen these things before.
I've seen these things. The weak point is the worm itself. That halts the movement.
So I'm going to tell you this. You know from seeing them before that in fact these things are it has 5 different pieces. It has 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, which is like the eyes in this case. So you know that each one can be destroyed.
Yes.
So when you're targeting this thing, it's not just hit points or AC. You say you can choose which piece you want to attack. So I'll give you guys that. That Gunter, dealing with goblins before, has seen these things and knows that that's how they got to be defeated, one piece at a time. Basically.
One piece.
So,
and the first one you target is always the worm, just to render its movement so it's stationary. That way you can move around.
sure.
That way you can get out of range and won't get closer.
Yeah,
It gets stuck in
or it
place.
moves much slower, maybe.
It is.
Anything, right?
Its other
So-
leg is very bad mobility-wise. It's only around 5 feet, but it can shift and turn along according to the worm's normal 30.
Sure.
So it's as the bottom plate is more of just a turn.
Yeah, it just kind of moves around and rumbles around. It can move. I will tell you that it can move a little ways, but it is slow for sure.
It is.
The worm is definitely an important part of the
The
vampire.
worm is the main part.
I will say this though too. You've seen these things, and they're always different. There's a different arm on this one, 2 different legs on this one, and they're all kind of just whatever these goblins make. Always weird.
They are always different.
But you've maybe seen the worm before and stuff, and know they're riding them and stuff.
Worms.
The worm is highly mobile.
The worm is a highly mobile part, but due to the giant machine it has to carry, it will be slower.
Okay, so Swift, what do you want to do?
All right, I'm gonna try to attack the worm first.
Okay, so attack, make an attack roll. So you have to get 12 or better. So your D20, and then where you have a longbow written down, it should have +5 or something. Maybe higher.
+7.
+7. That makes sense. I'm guessing you have the archery fighting style.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get +2 to your attacks. Okay, so roll 12 better.
That's-
1!
That's a nat
That's a
one.
1. You pull out your bow and you aim, and you're gonna nail this worm, and then the arrow just like flies off.
It's a random tree.
Yeah, it's a random tree. Nothing happens. Oh no.
No.
Do you want to move, or do you want to do anything
I
else?
know
If
what
you can do
happens
something
with
else.
this.
That's a
It
crit.
flies over, goes over the shoulder, just zooming past, hits a bird. That bird just, as a critical fail, would normally concede.
I do like the idea of making critical fails and critical hits like weirdly lucky or unlucky, like not really bad, like not like you shoot your friend in the face or something, but like yeah, you hit a bird that then like drops out of the sky and lands in your head or something.
I would say
You know,
a
it's fun.
D4 damage, take away a draw of only 2, so see if you get.
I have no damage. I'm not going to make people damage themselves in critical failures, but definitely something funny happens. All right, do you want to move or do you want to do anything else? So you can move. Probably you can move like. Yeah, I'm guessing your speed is 30 feet or 35. 30 feet, so you can move like 6 squares. But or we can move on to the next turn. Up to you.
Let's go to the next turn.
What do you want to do?
All right. I'm gonna take my fork.
Yeah, you don't take no problem.
Yeah, short.
It's close up.
I'm gonna attack with my short bow
All right. What part are you attacking? So
to the worm.
okay, go for it. 13.
13 plus 4.
Perfect hit. So just as Swift aims his arrow and it misfires, you immediately step up and shoot yours. So roll your damage.
2.
2. Plus anything?
2 plus 2, so 4.
4. All right. So left leg takes 4 damage. So the worm, you hit it, and it doesn't look like it did a ton of damage, but it squeals loudly, and like you just hear some scream. All right, and now it is, of course, my turn, and I'm that note. 3. I'm backing this guy up. The goblin comes out of there, and one of these dog creatures comes out over here, and another one of those here as well. They just come out of the woods as well. I'm now going to, how this creature works, can I have 2 more D6s? So I'm going to roll 3d6. 3 of its parts activate. And that's what we figure out. So 2, I'm going to roll that 2, 5, I'm going to roll
6.
It doesn't have a 6. So 2, 4, and 5. Activate. So number 1, 2. The first thing it does, it's right arm. As you guys start shooting at it, it's this arm here. This is actually backwards because I looked it by accident in the processor. This arm here, you guys see like the big cannon thing it has. It like starts to whine and load up, and you hear like this weird screeching of rats. And suddenly there's like you see rats poking their heads out of the cannons, and they start firing at you guys. So it 34 damage. Okay, so they fire at, this is what I'm going to say, they fire at Vanjuul first, and this is how I'm going to Deus Ex Machina this whole thing. Vanjuul gets smoked right in the face of the rat and gets knocked out. They're not dead, they're just unconscious.
Knocked out by rats.
Knocked out by rats. Now we don't have to deal with Sarah's character for
I'm
this
going
session.
to
Embarrassingly knocked out.
I'm going to have Monkey take her off to the ship as we deal with them.
She gets knocked out, monkeys are dragging her away.
Yes.
Good enough. That works for me. Easy enough. Just
You're
drag
there.
back. She's safe. I would not kill a character that is not here. That's not fair. But that happens. However, the rats that fly out of this cannon at you guys, so these guns are literally firing live rats at you. It's in an area effect, and they fire at Vanjuul, so Heiji also has to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid damage.
Okay.
12 or better.
14.
You dodge out of the way. You do take half damage. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you take 2 damage as a rat just glances your shoulder, and it's like a machine gun of rats. Is what it is.
It is a lot of rats.
It's terrifying, and as the rats land on the ground, they all just run away. It's really weird.
It has a limited ammo.
So that happens. That's the first one. The second one is number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the right leg. So it's the right leg, which is the big heaping parts, making all the smoke. Suddenly it belches a bunch of smoke, and this thing is now covered in smoke. And so any ranged attacks against the next round will be at disadvantage. But melee attacks will still be fine. And then number 5 is the left leg, the worm. So the worm starts dragging 5, 10, 15, 20, comes up to here, and not close enough to attack you guys, but it starts like trundling up, smashing to the ground, making big furrows in the ground, and that kind of thing. And it gets right on top of you guys, and as it gets up close, you have this like diesel engine smell from the fog and stuff that's covering it, and it's like just a huge, big, massive machine stomping towards you guys. Your turn. And well, I think Vanjuul is
done.
So Gunter's turn. Yeah, I got 36 here. I'll take this one's mine. These 2 I'll just keep these. So
they might need them for D6.
yeah. Well, I don't. You know what? Actually, you got to take those back. I don't know which ones are which. I don't know.
I've got my bunch of dice in those.
I'm going to attack.
Sets that are half in me.
Going up,
likely
I will attack the worm foot.
So if you do a melee, if you do a melee attack, it's not at disadvantage. So you can attack regularly. Where's my
These are just in,
So 12
they're
or
not-
higher, and I'm fine.
their D20s are already in use, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
fine.
What did you roll?
Well, I didn't roll yet.
Oh, yeah, you got to beat 12 to hit.
18 at base roll.
Nice.
21.
Yeah, okay, so what do you do to hit this worm?
The banjo.
Oh, right. All right, roll your damage.
5 plus 10 damage.
Oh, nice.
Ow.
Okay, so yeah, you rush up on that, and once you get into the cloud of smoke, you can clearly see the worm. Smash in the head, wriggles around, squeals. You see a big mouth open, because it does actually have a mouth, which is terrifying, because it's not a regular earthworm, like you said.
Like
And
Just a win.
but
that
you
worm from Star Wars.
even except for not that big, but more like, if anybody knows what I mean by the movie or book series Doom, it's more like a giant sandworm.
Oh, so
It's not that
it's a graboid.
Yeah, similar to that. Not quite as big, but maybe it's like 10 feet long, probably. A 10-foot long earthworm. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, but Gunter runs up, smashes it over the head, and it is definitely bleeding. It looks hurt. So, all right.
Yay.
Anything else you can do as a bonus action or anything?
I could probably
Do
try.
you have any medicines I can use?
Let's
Are
see
you
that.
okay with some cherry blossom smelling stuff?
I could try
Yeah,
to
it's on
be
there.
intimidating.
You're gonna try. What do you want to do? Well, I would say depending on what you want to do, maybe it will be.
Probably mainly the ones in the back that have shown up
Yeah.
and seen what has happened and just glare at that direction.
Tell me how you do it. Exactly what.
So,
you do.
After I
Maybe I'll let you do it.
after I bash in the worm
Yeah.
and start to strum my banjo slowly
Yeah.
and come out of the smoke, then stare out at the goblin, the beast that are working with it. I just glare heavily at him and just watch as I crawl slowly.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. I will let you do that, but it's gonna be a hard check, so you gotta do 15 as well.
No.
Nope, okay. All right. So yeah, so they especially like these two are one of the dog things, they're really weird. But this guy over here, he even like waves his like sword at you and like kind of laughs because he's still got his big giant eyes still looking in good shape, right? Okay, so that's your turn. Now the three goblin things are actually gonna go. So they're gonna roll in at the end of the turn, basically. So this guy, 10, 15, 20. He goes up there. This guy. So, what do I have written down for the stats for the goblins? +3, I believe, and +3. Yeah, okay. So, goblin is going to. This goblin, they always have like homemade weapons. So he has like a sling, and he's just kind of like a coconut or something at you. Or not coconut, there's no coconuts
At
on
who?
a rock at you, and it's 19 to hit.
That's it.
So you take 8d6 plus 1, 4 damage as he he like wings like a beach stone at you. It like hits you in the chest. Hurts. It really sucks.
It's a rock being
And then these two god things, one bites at each of you guys. 14. What's your AC? 17. That misses. And 4. That one misses. So these two guys, they come up at you guys and they start trying to bite at you, but you push them away. They're like these, and it's really weird too. They're two-legged. They look like these like brains, and they have like big mouth, creepy eyes. And they start biting you guys, but you just like literally push them away.
I swing my banjo into its mouth to block the bite.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so Swift, your turn.
All right, I'm gonna just roll out of the way here
Okay.
and try to shoot one of the brain things.
Okay, go for it. So 12 or better.
20. Not
20. All
Not
right,
20.
roll your damage. So your damage is a D8, right? So you get 8 plus another roll of your D8. So that's how I do critical hits. Like your first dice is maximized, your second one is bonus roll.
8.
Oh my god, 16 damage. You shoot this thing
16 plus
in the spine and it just like crumbles
It
over
feels so
completely
good.
dead. That is awesome.
What is your bonus?
Okay, that is awesome. That is so cool.
The bonus does not need to be calculated as it was another.
Okay, so that was just spectacular luck on my part.
You got a 1, then you got a 20. I think that's gang
What
hand
are
with
you
a
looking
bird, like in real life,
coin or
that happened
something.
earlier. Now happened in
You
game.
got some.
Now you got your 20.
I mean, these are pigeon strategies, so.
Yeah, well, you got hit in the face by a bird when you missed an arrow, so.
Well, a bird landed on my head before, so.
So remember,
Well, yeah, but this one was a
Just
different
as
one.
a-
As
as a reminder, this is, I will be telling you better. That is an inspiration token. So that was so cool because we get a critical hit. That anytime, if you miss or something and you say, you know what, I'm going to use that, you can re-roll. Or you can gain advantage if you're.
Gain advantage or reroll.
Just so everyone knows,
Raw.
these are the pigeon scratches.
Well, pigeons are, that's.
Pigeons.
I was feeding pigeons in the park.
Well, that's fun though too.
Well, they're pigeons,
So
they're birds. They hate you.
everyone can have a maximum of 1 inspiration at a time, so 1 to 3 just in case we have to mount. And if you do something really cool, like role play your character well, or if you get a critical hit and you do something cool, like you get an inspiration, right? And as a reminder, I will give out inspiration, but if you guys think that was really cool, like the other player did something really cool, you can say, hey, give me inspiration, okay?
I
So we can give
mean,
those out between
we
all of us.
also bardic inspiration.
That's a different thing.
That's
Oh.
different. That is
Well, yes.
proficiency bonus.
Well, you add for bardic inspiration, I think you can give like someone a D6 and they gotta use it.
I believe it is just, it grants +2 to proficiency.
We can look it up, anyway, that's fine.
I believe it is only +2 for one you just add it up and you just get +2 for one roll.
I think you get to roll a D6. They can roll a D6, but it doesn't matter. We'll look it up if you want to use it. So that's fine. It's very quick. That's a very easy roll to look up. You kill the squid, is what they're called. Weird goblin dogs, and it is now Heiji's turn. So you got the big guy in front of you, and you got the goblin who ran up and used his sling to throw a rock at you.
I'm going to attack that Gatling. The rat Gatling.
The rat cannon? All right, so roll 12 or better. 14, you hit it.
I still think that's funny.
The rat Gatling gun?
Yeah.
Yes, that is
I'll show you this. This is the best thing I've ever. One of my favorites I've found online. And because you randomly roll it all and make a different one every time. Right? Okay, so that's great. Yeah, you hit that guy.
5 + 2, 7.
7. Okay, nice.
I know Rack
Yeah,
only a total limit of 10 shots.
It has a huge amount of rats in it. You can actually see that's almost like there's a big cage on the back of it now that it's gotten closer, and there's it's a lot of rats.
Normally it would be in a day of gathering around 5 shots. So this being for who knows how long. It could be a long time. They could have just freed the rats.
So yeah, you totally hit it, and you actually can see the arm that it's not even an arm. It's just like a bar comes out from the thing. It has a cannon on the end, and where you hit it, it goes askew a little bit, and now it's damaged for sure. It's not destroyed yet, but it's damaged. All right. So anything else you can do is bonus action. Especially if you're a rogue, you have lots of bonus actions. What can you do? You can disengage if you want to get away, or whatever. Right?
I can't hide because there's no real cover.
Here's some woods right there. You could try and hide there. You still have to make a roll, but.
And to hide.
All right. And I was going to say this earlier too. These smarter enemies. I was going to say this when Swift ran away, but I was thinking about it the other day. Anyway. Smarter enemies might try and attack you if you run past, but not every enemy does. So goblins and these things, they're just they're not going to attack for opportunity. And this thing is way too big and lumbering. And it's more like a different type of creature. If you fought a smarter creature like a soldier or a ninja, they would definitely do that. So you want to think about not necessarily running away from that. Think about risking an attack.
And then I have to roll a stealth.
So roll your stealth check.
10 + 4, 14.
Okay. So you run off into the bushes and you duck under some bushes, and they know where you went, but they don't know exactly where you are, so they can't fire arrows at you. They can't target you. So, all right, Goblin Warship's turn. 2, 3, and 5. So 2 is 1, 2. The right arm once again. The rat cannon. Number 1, 2, 3 is the other arm. The other arm, and 5 is the worm again. Okay, so here's what happens. Number 2, first of all, the rat cannon. The rat cannon on on its arm. It's facing this way. It turns over to shoot at Swift. So Swift make a dexterity saving throw. So 16. You jump out of the way. You still take some damage. There's a bunch of rats almost hit you. So you take 3, 4, 5. So you take 2 points of damage as you just some of the rats just kind of graze you as you jump out of the way. Not too bad. So you get 2 damage. Make sure there's no hit points. And then number 3 is suddenly you notice in the other arm, it's this. There's just hamster wheel on the bottom, and you hear a cat freaking out inside of the hamster wheel, and it's running, and it starts powering up the Tesla coil, and make a dexterity saving throw. 9 plus anything? No.
-2 actually. I got 11 too. I got 11, so
you take as you see this Tesla coil, it starts zapping you, and you take 9 damage. Ooh, that's not good. Not good. This thing is pretty surprisingly tough. That starts having you. Oh, and then the worm, which you attacked earlier, attempts to bite you. Once again, make a dexterity save.
13.
13, you pass. Okay, so the worm bites at you as you're getting shocked, and you like dodge away from it. You manage to dodge away from it, so you get away from that guy. And that's the goblin worm's turn. It doesn't move anymore. This is right behind you. Your turn.
All right, my turn. I'm going to retaliate back at the worm with my banjo.
Okay.
17.
17, you hit. How much damage do you get?
8.
You, after you get shocked and you're like, and then you slam your banjo down, and the worm is crushed. It is dead. So, you're right. You know this, you're right. It can move a little bit, but it is much slower, and the other leg doesn't attack. The other leg doesn't have an attack. You know, it's just like a heap of junk with movement around. So the worm being dead, you're free to not be attacked by that thing. So that's good. Anything else you can do on your turn? Bonus actions. And I will say this again, you've kind of seen that the other guys have been able to move away from things, so if you want to
I'm going to lift from my back one goblin and eat it. I'm going to heal 5.
I will say if you
How do I heal?
if you eat a goblin, I will give you 1d4 at once.
1d4? I'm going to do it.
Because that is a cool idea.
Cool.
In fact, also you didn't have inspiration.
I'm eating a goblin
Find the other goblins. I'm gonna have this guy, if you see him do that, no, make a morale check. 18. He's like, what the hell? What did I just see? But then he like shakes it off and says,
He realizes I'm an orc. We eat goblins.
yeah, well, now, exactly. Now he realizes this. So, okay.
Well,
So
I've been raised like a normal.
You managed to destroy one leg and harm another one, but the thing is still trundling towards you. So your turn. I'm going to say the dog guy. He bites at you, but he misses. He only rolled a 6. And the other goblin, he's going to go look for a 14. What did you roll on your stealth check?
I rolled something like 14.
This guy, okay, actually, here's what we're going to do. He rolled a 14 to find you. Roll the stealth check. Because we forget what it was. If you get,
It was a 14.
I think it was, so it was a tie. So
It's a tie.
Yeah, let's say it's tied. So
That's 15.
15. He's like looking around. If you try and attack this guy next time, you'll have advantage. You're
Oh, sneak
so
attack.
he's like pushing through the bushes. He almost sees you for a second, but you're like right behind this little other tree and can't quite tie you. So sweet. Okay. Swift, your turn.
All right. I forgot what's going on.
Oh yeah. So
Thing.
this dog is still on.
Worm is dead.
I
The
killed the worm.
The worm is dead. The main, like the big junk parts leg that's giving off all the smoke is still it's not been hit. The electrical arm has not been hit. The arm with the rat cannon has been hit. A little bit of damage. And a head, which you guys haven't seen do anything yet, is still like seems fine. So
Mainly the rat cannon's been active and the worm.
All right, I'll try to shoot the junk leg.
sounds good. Okay, so yeah, if you manage to take out the junk leg, then it's completely immobile. It has no legs. Still standing there, but it can make it like, turn like a turd or whatever, but it can't actually.
The bomb plate lets it shift slowly around. It can move with it,
All right.
but
So,
it's slow.
well, I would even say it doesn't move to catch up with it.
Roll to hit.
So roll it 12 or better to hit.
I would say it moves 5 feet a turn now because it's not meant for mobility. It's awareness.
17.
You hit, so okay, roll the damage.
I roll for damage.
So D8 plus whatever it says on the sheet for longbow. It should be like 3.
I did record that down for you.
Yeah, it's probably your dexterity. Well, it'd be plus your dexterity, right? So,
Dexterity is plus 3.
yeah.
6.
So 9. Perfect. All right. Yeah, you like shoot an arrow, and it pretty well lodges into this one part and like jams up the works of this like crazy all these gears and stuff that are on this thing. So
That
9.
makes destroyed.
It's still going, but it's definitely well damaged, I would say. So you can tell. So all right. So Heiji, what do you do? Goblin guy, he's like he can't see you, but he's literally like a foot and a half from you. I will say that.
I am going to slice this goblin in two.
Roll with advantage. No.
No.
12 or better.
That's a max.
That's a 9, right?
That's a 6.
Okay.
So that's 10.
Oh, 10. You lunge at this guy. He's so close, he's right in your face. You lunge at him, and just at the last second, he sees like the blade, and he, like bullet time matrix, like flies just right by him. But he did not see you. In fact, I'm gonna make him make a morale roll because he gets scared. 17. Once again, he like shakes it off, but he's like was freaked out by you suddenly coming out of the shadows. So anything else you can do? Do you have an offhand weapon? Like a dagger or something?
I do.
You could attack him with that too. You won't get sneak attack, and it won't be advantage for you. For the attack weapon.
That hits?
That hits. So D4 plus your dexterity. Although I don't, yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't care about that. Because I don't want people to take for damage. Like,
I'm writing down notes.
write down those. D4 plus your dexterity.
That is 4.
4? Okay, yeah. So yeah, you give like you miss with your rapier, but then you like slash under his arm with like your dagger, and he squeals and dodges back a little bit. He's still standing, but he's hurt for sure.
I thought goblins had 1 HP left.
Did we say that? If we did, that's fine. Right.
Those goblins were mainly just weaker.
Oh no, 1 hit point. I got it written down. Perfect.
Okay.
So you
Yeah,
dodges out of your way.
Stabbed him in like the heart.
Yeah. You get him under the elbow, he's dead. The other guys have, the dog things doesn't matter much. He killed him, you know about how many points he has. He has more hit than one because they're tougher. The goblins are like faster.
The goblins are fast and annoying.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, totally, you kill him. Dead. All right,
Woo!
that's an action and your bonus action. You can move if you want.
I'm staying.
All right. So you are exposed now. They like the big guy doesn't know where you are, but as long as you move, you can still stay there.
Yeah, I'm sort of like
You're just
covered
more.
a
It's
little.
more open because you made some moves. And stuff. But if you try and hide again next turn, you just like shift, a few feet into the woods and stuff. Okay. So
Gatling gun.
6, 6, and 5. So the 6s get re-rolled, but the 5 is the worm. Nothing happens.
Yeah. So
2, 1.
oh no, not the rat gun again.
Okay, so
Why is it always the rat gun?
so the first thing is you're right up on top of this guy, and its eyes start glowing, and it starts like swirling, and this light comes out of it. You're gonna make a wisdom save.
I'm not going to get that with saving go.
What was it? 3. Okay. So you're mesmerized for 1 turn, and you're gonna miss your turn this time. But you didn't get hurt. You didn't. The rat gatling gun. I'm gonna say it shoots at Heiji because you haven't attacked him in a little while. So make a dexterity saving throw because you just popped out.
save that.
Save.
Well,
So you do still take like half damage.
20.
This Gatling gun of.
Unnatural 20.
Oh, did you roll a natural 20?
Not unnatural.
Unnatural.
It got
Because
on
it
your
was
face.
boneless.
Don't worry, it's above 12, so
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you take 3 damage. Yeah, you take 3 damage. There's a bunch of rats shoot into the woods and like tear up the foliage all around you, and a couple hit you and scamper off. It's really weird. I want to stress this. It's really weird that all these rats, and they don't like die, they just hit you like beanbags and then run away.
Very weird.
So yeah, okay.
And then he's
So that's
mesmerized.
your turn. You're mesmerized, so you just like miss your turn this time.
I'm just staring at the eyes.
The dog is going to like. He misses again. He misses even though you're mesmerized. All right, Swift, your turn. So
Just a
there's
swift slap at the dog.
okay, so there's one dog and there's a big guy still.
I just slapped the dog as I'm still standing
I'm
at it.
just gonna,
Reposition yourself, sure. Yeah, that's cool.
so did someone shape the arm or,
No, one of the arms is damaged and one of the legs
The rattling gun
is damaged.
is damaged, and so is the leg.
So, whichever, and the head is undamaged. And
The head and Tesla has not been hurt.
yeah, so there's still 4 pieces left. So you can still choose from the head, the Gatling gun, the rattling gun, which I think is really good.
Rattling gun.
The Tesla coil or the junky right leg. Those are still going. So if you want to attack one of those, you can, or you're going to attack the dog guy.
well, I'm not in any position to attack the dog anymore, so,
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Yeah, you can aim at anything on this card.
yeah, I'm gonna try to attack the Tesla gun.
Okay, sure, go for it. So 12 or better.
So,
Nice. Okay, yeah, plus something. So you definitely, you hit it. So roll your damage, D8 plus 3.
5.
6 and 8. Excellent. Okay, so yeah, you hit the Tesla thing and it like bends over a bit. Still there, still sparking away, but definitely hurt. All right. That is Heiji's turn.
All right. Going in for the rattling gun.
Nice. Okay. Make an attack roll.
What are you attacking with?
Right here.
Okay.
Hit.
Yep.
And
Okay. That's a D8. Where's my D8?
In your hand.
3 plus 2, so 5.
5. So
And then we'll take 5 more damage.
okay. Still hanging on, but it's like definitely really beat off now. Do you want to use your bonus action? You could attack again with your dagger, or you could hide or whatever. Well, if you had to.
Dagger.
Yeah, sure. Go
Rattling gun.
Nice. Hit again. All right, roll D4 plus your dex.
That was
Excuse me for a minute.
That was on the line.
Hello.
3.
3.
Okay, thing is hanging on by a thread.
Thank you so much.
One more hand. Gone.
So
Decent hit.
That's gonna take me up to 6.
1, 3. Okay, 5 is nothing. So 1 and 3. So it turns on you, Heiji, having just attacked it, and it starts to try and mesmerize you. So make a wisdom save.
Whiz save. Oh, this was a straight roll. Please be good.
You are mesmerized, so you miss your next turn. 3, 1, 2, 3. The
Tesla.
the Tesla one, so I'm gonna roll a D6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You make a dexterity saving throw.
Of course it has to be.
As it charges up and starts trying to zap you again.
Well,
You jump out of the way as lightning hits you like around your feet. You don't take any extra. You don't save for half. You just save. So
it's
no
not
damage.
an area of effect.
Yeah,
It's just a straight bolt.
exactly. 0 damage. All right, sweet. So you guys, I think you guys are kind of have this thing on the ropes now. You're getting a handle on things and how it works. Your turn. You had your turn this time.
I'm going to
Yeah, you shake off. As you see it focus on Heiji instead, like you shake off the mesmerizing effect.
One
The effect is
shiny.
the rattling gun with my banjo.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah, that hit.
12.
Yeah, plus 3.
Okay, you hit it. So, okay, the gun is like sticking out like this. Is actually bent down like this. So you take your banjo and you swing down. And what you do?
7.
You smash it off and it falls to the ground. The cage of rats pops open and all these rats just scatter everywhere. All
Say about roughly 120 rats just ran off.
Yeah, like dozens and dozens.
Dozens
of rats.
and dozens.
It's crazy. It's a terrifying sight. They run off into the woods and the little holes.
Well, they bred the rats for days.
I want shiny.
You are looking at them.
Yeah.
But
Shiny.
I will say, in your like mesmerizing haze, you do notice they are actually pretty fancy. So, okay, all right.
I mean, knowing him, he's grabbing wants shiny. He
Oh,
probably
yeah.
just
For sure.
tried to grab them.
That one place.
Yeah, okay. The dog bites you, 5 misses. 5, 6, 7, 8. So, oh yeah, your roll AC is only 9, but it still misses. Because it's +3 to hit. So, okay, that dog is useless. This
It has tried to bite me. and I'm
It's just
smacking
being
every time.
an
Just, like,
annoying
knocking it away.
yapping
You're just, like,
dog. Like
pushing it away.
it's like being a chihuahua.
Yeah. Except for it's
All
like this
bark, no bite.
big. Okay,
It's
so
like a bummer.
Swift, your turn, but then you miss your turn.
I know.
All right, so
So the cannon with that shoots rats is destroyed, and the worm is destroyed. The eyes have not been hit yet, and both legs have been, or the other leg and the other arm have been damaged. The
The
other arm
eyes
is
have not been hurt yet, but it
And
doesn't
they
seem to be
mesmerized.
damaged. So it's good to wait on that. It just takes away your turn.
It's and now Heiji just wants shiny eyes. The shiny eyes.
So, what do you do? And there's still the dog. There's
So
the-
the dog behind the one machine gun is trying
I'm
to do that.
gonna aim at the leg again, just to make it
Yeah.
to try and make it fall over.
Okay, the same ones before, right?
Yeah.
So,
The
okay, 12 or better.
stump.
4.
You shoot and it glances off a piece of armor on the leg and your arrow bounces away. Unless, well, what is your plus? +7, right?
Yeah, it's plus
Oh,
7.
7, 8, 9, 11. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not gonna.
You just about get the right spot, but it glances.
it just-
It dings off some metal and just flies
And now it's
over
your
on the
turn.
ground.
Do you want to move or do anything else?
No.
Okay, so you're gonna stay there. Just keep shooting arrows. My turn, so I'm gonna roll 3d6 because it still has 3 pieces.
Stop staring at shiny.
3,
But I
1,
want it.
4. Okay.
Ow.
What have you done?
I squished my thumb.
Oh,
Ow.
Wait, so is all 3 of the plates attacking?
if one is broken and it lands on that number, it doesn't do it.
I know, but it's a 1, 3, and 4. I think the worm was 5, and
Yeah, so
the
Rattling gun was 2.
yeah, so this is what I'm gonna say. 1 is the head, so it turns on Swift. Swift, you make a wisdom saving.
All right.
D20.
20.
And I'll show you.
It is a wisdom.
15, well, you pass anyway. But look, I see where it says wisdom. I see where it says saving throw at the very top of your wisdom little block there.
Yeah.
Just add, if there's a number, you add that to it. So,
Yeah,
You have
there's
0,
there's
so-
no saving throw.
yeah, so you're fine. But you still roll 15. So this thing turns and looks at you, and you start to get mesmerized for a second, but then you shake it off and be like, no, no, no. And you like block your eyes and don't look at the crystals.
I've realized this whole time I've had a 0 for my saving throws for dexterity because I have to think technically scribbled in. I just forgot about the whole saving throw mechanic.
We'll remember. So yeah, +2 again.
So basically, it's a 0.
A 0. Yeah, exactly. So that's still good. So you didn't mind. I think you would have failed twice anyway.
Yeah,
-12.
the times that I got the -2, I would have failed.
Yeah.
The time I got even, I managed to hit +2.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. You know what? I wouldn't have allowed you to eat that goblin, so let's say that counts as it. That's not offset, like, for the sake of it. Okay.
Offset and intimidate.
1, 2, 3. The lightning arm shoots at Swift. So make a dexterity saving throw.
I like how the lightning hasn't come from me.
19.
But then again,
19,
it's like
you dodge out of the
even
way
if
as
I
a crack
got
lightning
hit, I
shoots all
totally
around you,
take half.
like the Emperor and Star
Because I
Wars.
was it.
Doesn't hit you yet. So you don't take any damage. 1, 3, and 4. The thing, smoke comes up all around it again, and it is now range attacks have disadvantage. So you got to hit it in melee to get close enough to it. So okay, that's its turn.
My turn. Heiji is just staring at the eyes.
It is now unmesmerized.
I am going to grapple the dog, then toss it at the Tesla coil.
Do it. Okay, so we're gonna to grapple the dog, we're gonna make a impose. You can use strength or dexterity.
Strength.
I'm gonna use strength.
I have athletics, so that is going to be.
I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 10 in total.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, the dog struggles for a second, but you pick it up by its tail and you whip it into the back of the guy. So why don't you roll a D6 and see which part of the thing you hit. So 1, you hit the head. Yeah. So you throw it into the back. You actually throw it into like the back of the thing, and you can see there's like a hatch there. And as you hit the hatch with the dog, you hear a goblin inside like cry out like like they hit their head because they got like jarred from the impact. And the dog was going to take D6 damage, just D6.
Just a flat D6.
Yeah.
And what about
A 3.
the head?
The head was same thing, D6 for the head. So.
And 4 for the head.
4, okay. All right, dog.
Hook 3, just clunk.
Yeah, and fell back down. Totally. That's an awesome. That's a great idea. So, all right.
I love
Anything
it.
else you want to do on your turn?
I'm going to.
Ooh.
I'm going to play my banjo.
Okay.
I'm going to inspire people.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to play one song, the simple war song. There's a simple song. Just
Give a second.
Bardic inspiration.
well, I've done it.
Just like that's fun. One brothers, both my brothers. Inspiration. You can inspire others through stirring words or music. So you use a bonus action on your turn. You choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet. You can hear you. The creature gains 1 bardic inspiration die, a D6. Okay. So how does it work? You give the D6 to one of these two, and they can add it to their D20. So sounds good. So yeah, you sing your war song.
You missed your last turn.
And
You're gonna jinx it. Now I'm gonna miss.
You're getting a +6. You should be fine.
D6. So they work +1.
Which
But
can really
still, very
help.
useful. Very, very useful. And you, just by the way, you can use that twice.
He's 2nd level.
So that's you can use this feature no times equal to your charisma modifier. And we'll
2.
later on, I think, and increases to like D8, then a D10, etc. later on.
They brought more power.
Still good. Okay. That's your bonus action. The dog, freaked out by that, starts running away. So it actually runs right off into the woods. It's like, yeah.
It's now out of combat.
Yay!
So rolling around for all, but it's freaking out because that was really weird what happened. Okay, it is now your turn again.
Okay.
So that D6, you don't have to use it right now, but if you want, like if you miss, but it's like a 2, you can roll the D6 and see if you get it, right? So but you get to keep it for a few turns. So
Maybe 30 times.
that's 10 minutes actually, so 10 minutes is like 100 turns in the game.
10
Yeah,
minutes.
it's 60 turns, which is wild. But in like outside combat, it would be like just use it. You know?
If you want to use it.
So yeah, basically you can use whatever.
What are you attacking?
So yeah, so the head is still there, the right leg, which is the junk leg, and the left arm, which is the Tesla arm. So, other than that, it is looking beat up and it's not doing too good. So, what do you want to do?
All right, try to attack the leg again.
All right, go for it.
12.
12, you hit. All right, roll D8 plus your dexterity.
7.
7, okay.
And plus 3, that would be 10.
10? Oh, yes. Okay. So this thing is hanging on by a literal thread. There's only one wire or a couple of little wires as the leg starts to snap off. And under its weight, it's like tipping around. It's still standing. Looks like it could probably move a little bit, but like there's only like a few threads actually holding the leg on. Almost completely destroyed for sure. Is there anything else you want to do?
Well, that's kind of.
You can move, or I don't know if you have. Do you guys know if you have a bonus action?
Not right
Yeah,
now.
things like you're a fighter or a ranger.
They're both rangers.
Yeah, okay.
Vanjuul
Yeah.
and Swifter.
We'll look it up after. I might actually get you guys like maybe just one day like actual little list. Like these are your like actions. You know, you can do whatever you want. Like Zayne's action of picking up the dog and throwing it was kind of his own creative, right? That wasn't like you
I
can do
use
anything
my
like
athletics
that.
to grab the dog, toss it over.
But there are also like standard actions like attack or hide or whatever. Right? So those are like codified things.
I probably would have made.
No. For sure.
All right. I'm going for the ice to try to.
All right. What do you want to do? You want to take one out?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. So we'll just count it as an attack. You can like hop up there and try and pry one out with your dagger or something.
With rapier and then dagger. That doesn't work.
Sure, yeah.
7, 4,
11.
not
Not
mid.
quite. That's your first one. You can't, like the rapier is too long. You can't quite get in there, but you can use your dagger if you want. I'll count that as 11.
11, so
That
15.
hits. Okay, so with your other one, you start prying there. So roll some damage. If you do enough damage, you can pop one out.
Really? Thank you.
2,
4.
1 total. Okay, you almost get one out, but it's not quite.
Let's see the war machines. 10.
Okay, War Machine's turn. So it's still going to roll 3d6s, but again, if there's anything broken, they just don't do that. So 1, 3, and 4. So 1
Everything.
tries to mesmerize you because you're right up in its face. So wisdom saving.
Oh,
14, you save?
save.
All right, so yeah.
Like,
you're,
I am
you're
determined.
so close that like you can't see both eyes.
Determined to get that gem.
So, okay, so you save on that one. 3, the Tesla coil goes. And Tesla coil goes. And dexterity.
16.
16, you dodge right out of the way. This time like this crazy huge arc of electricity. So on the big line, And yeah, you just dodge the side. So you got lucky that time. And the right leg pumps up even more smoke this turn. So
I'm going to go behind the machine and attack with the head.
okay, go for it. Yeah, you like trying to like smack it to pop the eyes.
Yeah, I see the hatch. I'm going to try and bash it out with my banjo.
Good.
I hit it.
What was your
17 base.
17? Nice.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So, what damage?
11.
Okay.
Back with the machine.
You hit it really, like you smash it really hard. The eye you were trying to pry out pops out in your hand. The other one comes like half out and is like on a spring, but it's still like flying around. So
Hang there.
yeah. So basically, this really nice looking cut crystal comes out into your hand, which is pretty neat.
Heiji
And it looks valuable.
instantly pockets it.
The other one looks like it's just hanging on, barely hanging on. That's it. So Swift, your turn. So again, there's the head, which looks really damaged. The electric arm is only looks a little bit damaged, and the other leg that you've been attacking is almost dead.
All right.
It has a few thin ropes just
Yeah,
holding
just
it.
a few little pieces.
It's not that great of rope, but it's something.
But I will say this: if you attack that now, it has smoke up around it. You will have disadvantage to attack with your bow and arrow. If you move in and use like a sword or something, you can just roll right.
All right, I'm gonna move in, use my short sword.
Perfect. Yes, you run in to slice the last couple wires on the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Roll a D20 plus your dex against. Probably +5, if I would imagine.
It's +5.
Yeah, so I thought because because you're bow and arrow, you're archer.
+2 to just bow and arrow combat as a passive ability.
Cool.
3.
3 plus 5. Yeah. So yeah, you run in, and the thing like turns at the last second, and just it throws you off balance. Doesn't hit you, but it throws you off balance and you miss your attack. Unfortunately, Heiji, you're up on you're just up clinging on the thing's face. You grab one of the jewels. The other one is hanging off by a thread. What do you do?
Don't attack it with my rapier first.
All right, go for it. You got it.
Yes.
I will say it doesn't matter what damage you roll. It has 1 hit point left. So,
Heiji.
yeah, the other, you grab one, the other one you're like gripping on so that you're like half leaning back, and your other one you just cut it off. This thing's eyes are dead or destroyed, so it's no more mesmerization. And you hear like some goblin language chatter inside, like people freaking out, and you hear like all these controls clicking and whirring
You're
inside.
not bad. And then you just have a very happy dragon just hanging.
With 2 really cool looking crystals. Anything else you want to do on your turn? You still have a bonus action
To the
to,
dagger.
again, dash, disengage, hide, or use your dagger as your offhand.
Dagger to the testicle.
Sure, yeah, okay, yeah, that's only, yeah, you cut the other one off, the testicle is like right here, so you can just like stab at it.
I missed.
You miss, yeah. It's like once again, same thing happened to Swift. It like because the goblin is inside is like cranking all the controls, like turns at the last second and like throws you off balance. Doesn't quite hit. Okay. It is now going to roll, but again, it only has like 2 things. So
That's
1 no good, 2 no good.
one no good.
1 gets a reroll because of reroll. Let's say 6 is a reroll. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the Tesla coil shoots at Swift. Swift, make a dexterity saving throw to avoid the electricity from the Tesla coil.
10.
Plus your dexterity.
Plus my dexterity, which is 3.
You pass. Yeah, you jump out of the way against another line of lightning that shoots out of you. All of this is Gunter.
I am going to go. I'm going to rip open the hatch and try to pull the goblins out of it.
Okay, sure. So make a strength
check.
Just a straight strength check.
No
Just like
athletics.
how do you do it?
I'm going to.
Like, what do you physically do?
I'm going to grab it and try and just rip it off the hinges and reach in to grab it.
I think it's pure strength.
Okay.
It's just athletics would be doing like something like you. If you can think of a way to do it, like, like a wrestling move or something, do it like that, wrestle it or something.
German suplex.
And that's a 15.
15? Yeah, you, after a minute, it starts like tearing half open and then it's looser and then you tear it again. And yeah, you see like 4 goblins inside. In fact, this is what happens. I'm going to roll a d6. One of the guys actually flies out like behind you. So put this guy. He actually like falls out and tumbles away from you. So he's now on the field as a regular goblin. But the other 3 are still inside. And they're like messing with controls and stuff. I will say you can. I usually give like 1 skill check. Can be something you do if you describe it well. So you can make an attack against 1 guy inside.
I am going to instead. I'm going to use this mockery as to insult them on how bad their war machine is and how terrible they are as a. I'm going to.
Tell us what it is in case.
Does vicious mockery have to do with saving throw or?
I believe it is a saving throw.
Survival.
Well, what does it say?
Your terrible engineers and you plant-based imbeciles will never get good. I will devour you all.
It works.
Well, I rolled a 15 plus 2, and I would.
Wisdom saving throw. So I gotta roll a wisdom saving throw.
What is your DC is on your next page?
I'm gonna say he rolled a 15. So he does save, unfortunately.
They do say.
I do get a bonus. I don't know which one it is.
So, yeah, okay, actually, yeah, what's your?
DC is 12. It's written on your thing right there.
Yeah. So, it does say, like, the goblin looks at you, it's like as he pulls out his door, and he gives you the finger.
Is vicious mockery charisma or wisdom?
It says a wisdom saving throw.
But
No,
your
for my
spell
bonus,
is
my spell.
Your spell is 8 plus your charisma plus your proficiency.
Yeah.
So
which
8,
is 12.
19.
I mean, when I'm casting it, do I get a bonus?
That's your bonus. Because it's a saving throw that I had to make, not you attacking. Like if you cast Firebolt, then you would roll d20 plus 5 to attack. But Vicious Mockery is I save against it. Just the same as you guys save, and he rolled a 15. That's it.
I have not put
Alright.
He's not.
so I don't put my wisdom or charisma into it.
You don't add
Well, you
anything.
did already. You're 12.
No, I got 15
No.
flat.
Yeah, but your on your next sheet it says 12, right?
Yes.
That's what I have to beat to save.
Okay.
And when
yeah.
using a spell that attacks, you roll that plus 4. Okay?
I'm not used to spells that deal damage.
Yeah.
So, like some
Only-
spells, you roll like a weapon to attack. Other spells, I have to save. If I save them.
Like
Right? No,
my breath weapon
some spells,
is a
yeah.
save.
Now, some spells do half damage. So if I save, I still get like Fireball. It's like 8d6 worth of damage, but if I save, I take half of that. So you still roll the 8d6 and then divide.
Apparently, breath weapon, if you fail it, you deal
Half.
half.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
copies there. I would just-
That is actually in like the dragon
But
thing.
a lot of things are like that.
That is my turn.
Like this guy's thing, the rat cannon is save or take half damage, and the lightning is save or you just don't. You just
Would
don't.
all of them have to save against the incarnation or just
It's one target, yeah. It's the cantrips that only targets one.
Okay.
Let's say there's 2 other guys, and there's like clearly the captain goblin, he like just like, yeah, go to hell, and flips you off, and Steve keeps driving the thing. So it's back to Swift's turn. So once again, the Tesla coil is in pretty decent shape, but the leg is like almost completely short. So up to you what you want to do.
I'll try to attack Tesla coil.
Okay. Oh, and you know what? For going after the gems that's playing to your character, you get inspiration.
Yay.
All right.
I mean, dragons will be like
So-
shiny things.
So I jump back a bit and
Yeah, you weren't close enough for it to well, it doesn't attack him. You jump back and you shoot an arrow at the Tesla claw?
Yeah.
Okay. And this smoke is cleared away, so you have regular attack, yes. Because it only lasts for 1 round. Yeah,
17.
nice, you hit it. Okay, roll your damage. D8 plus whatever.
Not
Nice. So plus, plus 5, right? No, plus 3.
Plus 3.
Plus 3.
11.
I hate. Okay, same thing. Still hanging on. Bent completely over. Still sparking. It's actually sparking crazier because it's like damage now. And you hear this cat in this wheel freaking out because there's a cat in this wheel. Like this. If you look at the picture,
Yeah, there's
the
a
wheel on the bottom. There's a cat inside that, and it's like a hamster wheel spinning around, causing electricity. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense. Why does this work? But goblins. Okay, here's another thing Gunter knows about goblins. The way goblin technology works is they believe it will work, so it works. It doesn't make
the
any sense.
same as a flex will. Goblins are the same.
Exactly.
If you have no arrows, but if you will it hard enough, orcs will believe you still have arrows, even if you have none.
That is exactly right.
Unless they are mentally
No sense.
stronger, they have to roll a wisdom save to stop
We
believing.
will keep this in mind for future.
No, half orcs are, if you believe hard enough, even if you have nothing, you can still get hurt by it because that is, our minds are that battle on that we just believe anything.
Yeah, totally. Okay. All right. So,
More orc knowledge.
Heiji, your turn.
All
Write
right.
it down and remember it. Or
I
write
did.
it down.
I
This is
wrote,
world
like,
building.
basic
This is good.
Something.
That's an awesome.
Right.
Yeah, if it's my character right there.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Okay.
I'm attacking Tesla Coil. Miss with dagger. With rapier. Attack with dagger. Miss with dagger. Just like Heiji's just
So
getting
close.
upset.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, same thing. Like it's bucking around. This thing is now in its death throes. It's just like moving around. The guys inside are just slamming on controls. It's like turning and trying to fling you off. And hardly even do anything. So 1, nothing. 2, nothing. 5, nothing.
Nothing.
So does nothing this turn.
That's why
It's just trying. It's just moving and trying to fling you guys away.
It's just loud clicking and hitting all the buttons that do nothing at this point because those buttons are just broken.
The turn again.
I'm going
So there's
to-
3 goblins right in front of you. There's one behind you, and then the machine itself still has the Tesla coil and the leg, which can belch up the fog. That's
I'm going to use my
War machine is
inspiration.
panicking.
Yeah.
I'm going to climb in the hatch.
you can just get like halfway.
Yeah, I'm going to crawl in and reach out and try and yank them out.
Okay, I will, by using your inspiration, I will let you, if you make a successful strength check and you have advantage, you can grab it. Now,
The captain is what I'm mainly going for.
I'm going to do this. You have advantage. So you get to roll 2 d20s, but I'm going to roll for each one of them.
Yeah.
So I only roll 1. So, with captain first. You try and grab the captain, roll 2 d20s. Okay, 3.
18.
Okay, you fling the captain out. Okay.
Yeah.
Second guy, he rolled an 11. So you roll 2 and you got to beat 11.
17.
You beat him. Okay, you grab the captain, you throw him, you grab the other guy, you throw him. There's one guy left. He rolled an 18.
I can't grab him though.
So the third guy dodges away and like smacks you in the face. And still pressing buttons, so they'll get one more turn at least. As he's trying to fling everything up.
Like
The other
2 more goblins have fallen out.
2 more
so-
goblins have fallen out, so if you guys got one as well, they come and put another guy back in touch. There's 3 goblins outside now as well.
But that also means there's a lot less pushing of buttons.
And this thing is nearly dead, so.
So it's probably going to attack way less.
So, okay, so that's your turn. Swift once again, and this thing is on his last legs. Quite literally.
I just turn and face them now as I'm
This is a
standing
big
there
battle.
over them. I wrote it. I called the goblin captain
This is-
and another goblin.
This is
I'm going to
just-
use this more often as well.
Yeah, the Goblin War machine, it's just great.
There's a lot of different variants now.
So, okay, yeah, Swift. So these guys, you threw them out. They tumble away. They don't get hurt, but they definitely,
That's the machine, which is why.
or they're on the machine, which is definitely hurt. So yeah, Swift. What would you like to do? There is the leg in the Tesla coil, or 3 goblins now outside.
Leave this,
I'll try to shoot a goblin.
Sure, try and pick off one of these goblins. Roll D20.
leave the machine to me. Leave.
Nine.
It's a 9 plus whatever. You definitely got above 12. So
So it's 16.
yeah, 16. So yeah, as these goblins come tumbling out, one like he like pops up to stand up, and an arrow hits him in the forehead. And he falls back to it. Because you don't have 1 hit point.
Hades just like, leave this machine.
Pops,
Leave
and
machine
there
to
goes
me.
Colin.
Heiji,
Leave machine.
Leave machine to Heiji.
this thing is totally busted. It's still swinging around because of one guy inside is pressing whatever.
Does this token give advantage?
Yes.
Yes.
So in this case, like, if you use 2 attacks, I'll give you advantage for both this one.
Yes. Hits.
Nice, hits, okay, roll your second one. Might as well just roll both of them, yeah.
Hits again.
Nice, all right, so,
I'm just
yeah,
destroying
so
it.
you poke, what do you do? What do you hit with your rapier, the testicle or the, like,
I'm literally sinking my rapier right down through the last little bit and just going, and then it's like dagger flicking
at the
right at
leg?
the leg.
Awesome. So yeah, so I will tell you, they each had 1 hit point left. So you slice out the testicle, throw your dagger, smash it into the last couple wires. The whole thing starts collapsing and falling over. You jump off elegantly to the ground as it collapses.
I'm
With a
just-
flip.
You jump.
I jumped off and now I'm with the
You
goblins.
pushed back.
I
as it was
pulled the
coming.
goblins out and then I'm just staring at 2 of them. Mainly like half.
So that happens, and the thing crushes to the side, and actually, like, the hatch, it's facing up, so the hatch is, like, on the ground, and the
The
guy
broken
inside,
hatch and
he's stuck inside, he can't get out. There are 2 goblins, and as you guys destroy the machine, you hear someone in the distance laughing, and kind of waving to you and clapping. And you see this guy up on the hill. So you guys are down here. He's up on this hill way up here. And you recognize immediately a hobgoblin. But he's laughing, and he has a club, and you can see in his hand, and he has tied to it a white flag.
So he's
And he's
surrendered.
waving it, and he's laughing and clapping, and he's like, good show. Oh, can't believe you beat me, you little pretty's old machine down there. Good show. I recognize pirates when I see him.
He just
He's calm.
it's like, oh, what's this?
I'm going to pull these 2 over in front and toss them down.
Sure.
I'm just going to show him I am an orc. I am a half orc. I have dealt with hobgoblins before.
This guy you notice he's as big as you. He's really tough. He looks tough. He looks big. The club he's holding is like this huge spiked club. He has like a fur cloak on and an eye patch, and he has either side too. He has all these like little they're like clay jars basically, like hanging on a string at his side. And he's waving, like I said, he has this white flag, and he says, "Oh, my friends, parlay, you're a sight for sore eyes with your ship out there." And he points out to your ship out on the water a little ways away. And he says, "I didn't think it'd be anytime soon that I'd see fellow pirates. What do you do?"
I'm going to just slowly march up.
Yeah, sure.
and just talk to him for now.
What do you say?
What is a goblin like you doing on this island?
I was like, oh, well, let's just say I had a disagreement with my own crew and they left me behind a few years back.
I'll let you live if you join me. Let me command you.
He should say this like, you got the look of that. You got the look of a captain, boss. I'm also a captain. He said, well, I'll make you a deal. I'll call off the rest of my goblin boys. There's lots of them hidden in the holes around here. And you give me passage on your ship. And we'll head to Rackham's Rest, and I'll show you a real pirate's time. What do you think? He said, I can tell. He said, look, he looks at your ship. He's like, I can see your mast is not doing too well. I mean, boys, they can build that thing. They can build you a mast.
Fix the mast, and I'll let you bring them. Just know one thing.
That's all I want. All I want. Passage off this island. No trouble.
I'll get you off the island. You just listen to me until I get you to it.
That's that. It's like, I can make that deal. It's on your ship. I'll listen to your orders. Well, maybe not your orders, but I won't get in the way.
You won't get in the way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he smiles and laughs. He's like this, this huge blue goblin-looking guy. Like I said, he looks pretty tough. And he says, he reaches out his hand to shake your hand and says, Captain Undertow at your service. You shake hands, you both like squeeze, trying to squeeze each other. Let's make a strength check. 4.
19.
Yeah. He shakes his hands a little good. Mighty strong ripper or something. And he looks like an older guy too. He looks like
he's a bit older.
Not super old, but also like goblins look weird.
I won't eat you. You'll be fine.
He laughs. He says, "I appreciate it very much." All right. Well, you need to get started. Like, all right. What else do you guys want to do? You notice behind this guy there is a broken down old there's like an old house. It's only the foundations, like the roof is collapsed and stuff.
I'm going to
He
ask
came
him
out of there
about this
clearly.
island, how much he knows about it.
Any treasure in island?
He spits on the ground and says, well, lots of things wash up here on the old Sanctum K. It's the old lighthouse and all. People, ships tend to get wrecked out here because the lights don't work anymore. And he says, I suppose if you look around, you might find something or other. And you do know that you found some treasure in the old boat that came over here.
Yeah.
But why don't you make an insight check? Heiji.
I'm proficient in it. That's a 12.
You looking at it for a second, you're thinking, he points over to that boat and like other stuff, and then you realize this is like a guy, and he looks like he has stuff on it. He's probably got something spoiled. So.
Can check in room?
If you want to check in the room, he's like right there. I will say you'll have to make a stealth check to get past him.
Okay. Rolling still. 15 plus 6.
You beat the target, so that's good. So after a while, what you just this is what happens. So you guys spend the next few hours. He starts calling his goblin boys, and they start cutting down a big tree and shaping a mast. And as you go into the woods, you see clearly where this thing was built. It was like this crazy workshop. It's all scrap parts from ships that have crashed, and random metal and wood and all this kind of stuff. And they get to work, and they have like even this like big sawmill that cobble together parts, and they fashion you guys a mast. And they can manage to. He said, "We can manage to rig this up on your ship, and we'll get sailing on that." He says, "I got charts that lead like one thing my mutinous crew left me was charts that show the way to Rackham's Rest, which is a pirate hole. Right? So it's this famous island where
You can get back to Noseless.
And he says, "All right, well, if you got a navigator, right?
I got a navigator.
Between the two of us, we can make it, right?" And says,
navigator was, I took over the ship from some random pirates.
And he says, "Well, that happens every now and then, as long as you want it fair and square, then you want it fair and square."
We lost some people, but I knocked us out and took over the ship. Of course, there was damage, but I got a crew.
He says, well, when we get out to your ship, we'll bring up this temporary mast, and then when we get to Raken's Rest, I'll introduce you to the shipbreaker. The shipbreaker is the man who is going to build it. Yeah, he builds ships, he can repair things, he can maybe offer you some upgrades for your ship, those kinds of things. Well, anyway, as he is working with the guys, you sneak in the room, and you find like some stairs that go down to a basement, and hidden in like behind there's a dirt wall, and there's like a stone that comes out. Roll a
D8. Hurry up. D8, 2, 4.
You find it's not a very big. Okay, so hidden in the wall, you find roll a D100 as well. I'm going to tell you 2 things.
66.
Okay, so you find a little pouch coins, 66 coins, gold coins, this one. And in that pouch as well, there is a golden compass, so like a finding your direction compass, north, south, east, west. And as you look at it, I'll tell you this: you don't necessarily know what it does yet. You'll have to identify it, figure exactly what it is. But it definitely has some like sort of magical property, because as you mess with it, it should be pointing north, and you know what direction north is, but it's always pointing to like southeast. It's always slightly different. So it seems off. Like it shouldn't be pointing that way. And you know that's where there's something wrong with this. But it doesn't look broken.
I'm getting Pirates of the Caribbean vibes.
So you make an immediate realization as well. You just took this treasure, and it's his treasure. So he will notice it missing if you take it. So you do know he has it. That is a problem to figure out. But you definitely know he has a little bag of 66 coins. Clearly the stuff that was on him. Otherwise in his room, by the way, you find there's a bunch of like bottles of rum, and there's like rations and stuff, and there's goblin meat curing over fire, goblin mushroom, evil meat, all this kind of stuff.
Something tells me they're cannibalistic.
It's a weird thing with goblins. But yeah, so
The week I eat them.
But yeah, so that's the idea. So like, as he's outside looking, you sneak around, you find out this information. And I will say too, you roll a D20. We're gonna roll like a luck check basically. So luck is if you get 10 or less, you don't find something else. If you get 10, more than 10, 11 or higher, you get something else. Yeah.
I don't get nothing.
So you see clearly he has like a map case basically that would have like charts and stuff in it. But when you look into it, it's empty. He must have them on. So he's probably thinking, for a bit of insurance, I'll keep these charts so high. So he's running a way out of here to get somewhere safe, right? So he doesn't. You can tell Heiji from that too, maybe some insight that he probably doesn't 100% trust you guys, but he sees you as a way off the island and he's willing to work with you. He just wants to get off the island.
I mean, I don't trust him either.
Yeah,
Like,
you as well don't trust him. He doesn't trust you, but that doesn't mean you can't work.
I'm taking your gold and compass just because. Not into money, but the compass is like.
You talk with the compass. All right, good enough. So
I'm going.
It's
While
interesting.
this all happens, I'm talking to the hobgoblin.
sure, yeah.
I'm going to be talking with him and working out with the other goblins as they see me with the captain.
Sure.
And I'm going to warn him, Heiji tends to enjoy shiny things. So if Heiji gets his hand on something, just ask for it back.
He says, yeah.
And just tell Heiji to come to me and I'll take it back.
He looks at you and he says, well, spoils go to the victor and all that, I suppose.
He's the dragon.
So he says this, and you maybe an insight check. 7, okay. He says spoils go to the victor. I think that's basically it. He gets his goblins to cut down the biggest tree they can. They mill it into a temporary mast. It's not going to last forever, but enough to keep you guys going and sailing.
I'm also going to talk about those eyes. Will he get to keep those eyes as he tries to
Well, so once again, he said to the victor goes spoils. Heiji grabbed those 2 eyes. So write down 2 crystal eyes. That's root as well. Do you remember what you guys got last time? Do you have it written down?
I've written that down.
Barrels of oil.
Was there a oil? They were in the
Lighthouse. And I managed to put it down. I'm not putting my full trust in the hobgoblin, but I'm just telling him
well, you know,
mainly about Heiji being a rogue
And a klepto.
Yes,
Dragon
that's it.
who wants horde.
a horde, as
Oh, right.
dragons horde, so it is normal for.
So what we found in the sea thing is mariner's supplies, blue liquid in a bottle, oilcloth, spyglass, weatherproof lantern, and a bag of coins and gems, 70 gold and 10 gems.
Oh, nice. So, all right. So you have some treasure. You beat some goblins in a reasonably fair fight. If you look at the 2 crystal eyes, also you can tell they're somehow magical. There's something about them. If you look at them, you get hot, mesmerized by them, and then you look away after a few seconds, it's almost like you blank out for a minute. So you tell there's something about them.
I do have identify magic.
If you have identify, you can cast.
I have detect magic and identify.
How many spell slots do you have?
I have 3.
3. If you want to identify, the crystals count as 1, and the compass, that would be 1 as well. You can cast identify.
Yeah, I'll cast identify.
One page you just shows them.
Identify hands. 14.
I'm gonna use one quickly.
We will finish up now, just for the sake. Well, it's 5:15 anyway. So.
Yeah, it's close. But I still want to know some knowledge about these things. The compass is pointing in a weird direction. This is all after the mass is probably set up. And Heiji comes over and showing me all of this as what he found and gathered.
You're a bard, right?
I am a bard.
Because it costs 100 gold. And I will stick to that specifically for identify. Well, if you have a ritual, no, it still costs the same, but you need this. Yeah, okay. So you can spend 100 gold to identify it, or you can wait till you get to town and so on for you. That's
I'm going to.
Actually, I would say this.
I also want to use detect magic on the eyes to see what they do.
Yeah, you detect magic, and what detect magic does, it tells you the school of magic the item is, and it tells you that they are enchantment magic. So clearly, they have some kind of enchantment magic terms, right? So they mesmerized you once earlier, right? Like hypnotized you, basically, right? So
I want to know the full scale.
Yeah, so you can definitely figure it out.
They are hypnotizing as they charm people for a small amount of time when staring at them.
Yeah, you can figure out that much. You can't figure out the exact details of what they do, but if someone else, like maybe a town or another wizard or whatever, could probably tell you what to do. What's to say? They are clearly magical, so of course, holding on to it, right? So, yeah, cool. All right, well, I think that was a pretty good session. So you can spend 100 gold if you have it, but identify cost. That is, I'm sticking to that for like material components for certain things, especially identifying, because sometimes it's worth not just cast it. But like I said, if you get to town, if there's like a magic shop or something, then somebody
Yeah.
maybe they'll give you a discount for it, right?
So are we venturing?
We are going back to the ship. The
You guys
being fixed up.
A few hours later, by the next morning, the goblins work through the night because They don't even need to sleep. You guys all get back to the ship. They float it over on the water, and they install a new mast. Your sailors get to rigging, fixing the rigging, and everyone is pretty relieved as the winds pick up and you head west towards the pirate haven of Raccoon's Rest, and that's where we'll all pick up.
So it's me, hobgoblin, couple of other goblins.
There's like a dozen little goblins that stick right by him, and he says, "I'll watch the boys, make sure they don't." Yeah, basically.
All I want.
They're like you can tell actually after watching them too. It's like they're almost an extension of him. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't command them directly, but he kind of can. Like he can like make them do things.
As the hobgoblin's the main leader, and they could say projectile. They could force
want
their
me to
will
say
over.
that?
Oh, you
small
just use
goblins.
it. I probably won't use it again with you guys, right? These are yours. I don't know which you guys want to take.
That one was with trying to get all
So I'm not 100% sure just yet, but maybe would you guys like? I was gonna say every 2 weeks, but would you guys like to play maybe next week as well?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
You guys are probably good for it.
I'm with
I'm not 100%. I gotta check something that I might have been just phone. Cool. That was fun. I checked out and things worked out pretty well. But yes, like there's so many crazy things on this. Like you can randomly roll and like.
There's specific details that Gunter would know about goblins as
Yeah, like
but
reasonable.
probably goblins only, like not the strange dog beasts.
Well, you've like maybe heard of those, but never seen them.
I've never seen them. They seemed new. They seemed weird.
They're just weird.
They were native to the city.
So what it is actually, so I will tell you this. So my decision, okay, in Warhammer, the game Warhammer, like Warhammer 40,000,
Yeah.
there are orcs, right?
Yeah.
Orcs have little guys, which are grots or goblins. And they're like young orcs that turn in, the young goblins turn into orcs. But they also have these things called squigs, which are basically goblin gods. And I thought that's a cool idea. Let's put that in my orcs.
all right.
They're a little different, right?
And so the fans, thanks for staying this long.
Cool.
And have a great day.
Captain is now done.
Yeah, I forgot that we're still doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can trust that.
See
Who
you.
knows?
See you next session.
Come on.